What screams I have a crush on you? When I was 23, there was this 12-13-year-old boy who always sat next to me on the bus on my way to work his way to school. I didn't mind chatting to him because he was a nice kid, but I did suspect he had a bit of a crush on me because why else would he choose to sit and talk to an adult woman instead of sitting with his kids his own age? He always carried a tuba case with him, so it was slightly awkward for him to sit next to me. I have to admit there was something a bit flattering about a kid asking me all these questions about my life and looking up to me like I was the most interesting person in the world. One day my boyfriend was riding with me to the city. We were holding hands and laughing, quite obviously together. The kid got on, lugging his tuba case, and he saw the two of us and stopped dead in his tracks. He looked so crushed, and he never sat next to me or talked to me again. The look on his face, it really made me feel awful for him. I guess he had to get let down the hard way. Multiple glances or not being able to contain the smile when they look at you, especially if you don't even know them. Either that or there's some BS being said about you and everyone thinks it's funny. Making 100% sure that the other person does not know you have the slightest interest in them. Laughing at your terrible jokes. Stalking their social media and accidentally liking an old post. If he unfurls his plumage to reveal a colorful underlayer, followed by an intricate mating dance. When they'll eat the oats right out of your hand. Constantly smiling at you when you're around. It's important to them to remember details about things in your life. They bring things up in convo. Start conversations first via texting, touching their hair, slightly touching your arm when they laugh at something you said. They are engaged when you're speaking with eye contact and don't look away, mimicking what you do, how you sit, your mannerisms, etc. Their feet pointed towards you, also good if you want to know if it's time to wrap up a convo in a one-on-one setting. Added a few things. A 12-year-old who clears his throat and yells I have a crush on you. Quick nervous glances, eye pulse. The first successful extravehicular activity was performed on the 18th of March 1965 by cosmonaut Alexei Leonov. Maybe a boner or something? IDK not my area of expertise. Picturing life together after just interacting. I met a girl at boxing yesterday. She was new so I offered to train with her. She seemed genuinely interested in my teaching. We both laughed a lot and had fun. I stayed after to get to know her. She signed up for more lessons. We went outside and spent more time talking. She even gave me a compliment on my physique and I think we indirectly made plans to train together again. Help. I'm 23 and the last crush I had was when I was 14. God damn it. In a mixed gender group of friends and that one girl is happy to talk to every other boy normally but gets quite shy when she talks to that one boy in the group. If I avoid them as much as possible. When I was a teenager there was a guy in my friends group who every girl had a crush on at some point in their life. He was obsessed with the color yellow and wore yellow constantly. You could tell who had developed a crush on him when that person started wearing yellow a lot all in a sudden. That never worked though. He only ever dated one person while we were teenagers. They were together for almost 3 years and she never did the yellow thing. Check for the number of Y's when they text you. It's called the Hey scale. Hey, hi, hey I like you. Hey I, come buckets and me. When you make eye contact with someone and they immediately look away because they've been staring at you. Isn't pointing your toes at them obvious enough? Is anyone else reading all these and planning to use them too? A. Figure out if you have a crush on anyone. B. Avoid displaying any of them so no one thinks you have any subconscious bias. Or C. Deliberately use all of them on one person to freak them out as much as possible. The only way I would ever know if you had a crush on me would be if you literally screamed I have a crush on you. So pretty much just that. When laughing in a group setting, a person will generally try to make eye contact with the person there whose approval they most value. When the girl turns her head to you, sees you're looking at her ass and gives you the duck me eyes. Unknowingly smiling while talking to you, lets you do all the talking, and she does the laughing. Also if they stare at you or avoid looking at you. Staring a lot and laughing at things they said that weren't funny. I did both with the last crush I had. 9th grade. before he left the school because I was too creepy : he actually knew I liked him too, or he knew a girl with my name liked him. Either one. I had another guy tell him, and he said he liked her too and thought she was beautiful. He wasn't talking about me as evidenced by how creepy he thought I was. Stuttering in front of the person. You wake up in the night to use the bathroom and they are standing outside your door, grinning. If they're really open to talking to you, that's a good sign. Like, 4 points. 1. When I like a girl, I will repeatedly try to start up conversations. 2. When a girl likes me, she will always be extremely receptive to those attempts and conversations will billow very easily. 3. When a girl does not like me, she might answer my questions and be friendly with minimal eye contact. 4. When I do not like a girl who might like me, I won't be so inclined to perpetuate a conversation because I know how she might misconstrue that. When a guy pulls a girl's pigtails, that mostly applies to 10-year-olds. Reading this thread makes me regret not pursuing the girl I had a crush on in middle school. Looking back, she obviously had a crush on me, and I still think she does. Every day she would wait for me at my desk in one of our classes, touch play with my face, hands and whatnot. I'd also always see her staring at me from the corner of my eye and she would copy whatever pose I was holding. I hadn't seen her during our freshman year, but we caught up again sophomore year and we actively texted that entire year and then some. Every now and then she'll DM me something or even more rarely send me a text. Biggest regret of my life cause I still have a crush on her 7 years later lol. Edit. I guess I should've mentioned that I'm a girl too, so that could probably be another reason why I didn't take action lol. Girl who is out of my league. You're cute. Her friend, she really likes you. Girl, nods positively to this. Looking back, I think I should have done something about that. Steamroller. That might be what makes you scream while it crushes you. You know it's true love when they offer to show you their trebuchet. When I always turn to directly face you when you speak. When I'll make excuses to spend more time with you. In high school. When I'd low-key risk punishment for staying out too late for no real reason but to finish a conversation with you. I'm crushing on you. Hard. If you walk past a girl in the office who's vigorously masturbating and she shouts "Duck me now, you duckine dirty ducker" at you when you walk past, that's a pretty good indicator. But don't quote me on it. Mixtape. Or whatever the modern equivalent is. I always know a girl likes me when I make a ratty joke and she proper laughs at it. Playful hitting is also a good one, though less clear cut than the laughing. If a woman has her legs behind her ears, it means she likes you. Taking this opportunity to tell people to be more explicit when they like someone. Ages ago a guy told me on MSN Messenger that there was a rumor we were dating and we both laugh about it. Years later we're talking and find out we both had a crush on each other. We're too scared to talk to each other about it and broke each other's hearts when we started dating other people. I know romance and blah blah, but just spellitout. Eye contact with an immediate turn away. The only thing that ever had a big crush on me was a landslide. I want you to duck me in the butt. Seriously, this was a real thing. When they tell you that somebody else kissed them and then apologize for it. We were kind of close and I did kind of like him, but we never got around to ever confessing. One day, last week of middle school, he tells me that another girl kissed him and I was just like okay. It was weird because we didn't talk about that stuff. He was like, I would have felt guilty not telling you. I always thought that it would be you. At that moment, it was clear that he had a crush on me. TLDR. When they do something romantic or sexual with someone else and tell you in an apologetic manner. Girls looking away or changing their body language quickly if you look toward them, notice them. Sometimes it means they've been checking you out. Not always. Considering the post from a few days ago that showed that obvious signals are indeed not obvious, I'm gonna say unless they upfront tell you, you won't know. It's pretty simple. But if a person leans in while talking to you, it's usually a good indication. Kicking dirt at you on the playground then running away. Saying damn it and always ending up insulting your crush. To top off that embarrassment, not apologizing because that's 100% a tip off that you like said person and that's defeat. NOWERKNESS. Trying very hard to continue a conversation with them. Well, in my case I act super awkward around them and do the look away eye contact thing. I hate it because I wanna be more natural and confident but my body just goes full retard lol. The good news is I can hide all that online, so Tinder is usually the preferred method of finding people. When they go absurd lengths to deny it. Girl that lives on my street has a huge crush on me. She's gone to huge lengths to deny it, such as by threatening me with a restraining order. Asked members of her family to tell me she's not interested. Blocked me on all social media and changed her number. Okay, sure, I believe you. You don't have a crush on me, yes. Someone who's just been dead to scream I have a crush on you. Murdering you and then being terribly sorry about it. He can launch 90 kilograms over 300 meters by using a counterweight. All the guys here need an eye opener. You all go read this thread. A treat. When they write to you and are overly obsessed with not being annoying. Saying things like I feel like I'm annoying you. I should stop, or am I being annoying? I can stop. Someone who has a crush on you. Isn't shy. Is drunk and doesn't hide their feelings. Always catching them staring at you is probably the best universal signal. And can these posts just be like what are the best indications that someone has a crush on you instead of always what screams enter thing? Why you gotta scream? When they suck your pee-pee. Once I went on a few dates with a guy, and this was back when the internet on phones was it and really difficult to navigate. I tried Facebook stalking him to look at his photos, but I accidentally typed his name as my status update instead, which subsequently stayed there for 2 days. When I kidnap you and hold you captive in my basement. My buddy Larry on bath salts. Attempting to get into their hobbies. Till I have a crush on everyone. My ex, who is now my best friend. Met him senior year of high school when our class was going to a 2-day conference at a local hotel at the end of the week. We didn't know each other well, but he walked up to my desk before class one morning, slammed his hands on it and said, "None of my other friends are going to this conference, so you gotta. I'll be bored out of my mind otherwise." We quickly realized how well we got along and became good friends at the conference before dating for a bit over a year. Still admire him for deciding to kickstart a friendship out of the blue. My methodican heart reacts. Take a hint. Met a girl at a friend's house for the first time. She was the loud type and liked to be the center of attention. We were watching the France vs Belgium match, so I was focused on that while also socializing with a group. I would sometimes look at her and she would make eye contact with me for a long time. Me being stoned out of my ass would just look away as it felt kind of uncomfortable. Anyway, she went downstairs to make a phone call after the game. And maybe 15 minutes later I decided to go home. While I was coming out of the building, I find her standing there with earphones on. She sees me and completely drops the earphones and asks why I'm leaving so soon. I reply with, "I gotta get back home. Got work in the morning." She comes closer, so I extend my hand expecting a handshake. She's like, "No, I want a hug," and hugs me for a good 10 seconds while laying the side of her head on my shoulder. The stoner in me was kind of confused on what she wanted from me. She then asks for my number and miscalls me, then goes for another long hug, and as soon as she was letting go of me, she whispers in my ear, "Bye darling." Now see, I was tripping out because I'm married and expecting a child soon, and couldn't make out if the chick was just extremely friendly or was trying to make a pass at me. What do you guys think? I'm going to meet that same group tonight. Need info, people. I don't know if she had a crush on me or not. Maybe someone on here is a better judge than I am. I work in retail at a restaurant bakery, and a good number of attractive girls eat and shop there regularly. On Tuesday, a group of 4 or 5 young women walked up to my register and ordered some food. They ordered separately but sat at the same table, so I had to take their orders individually. The second one to order was really pretty, and I asked her how she was doing, what she would like for lunch, etc. Don't make a huge deal out of this. That's just my normal routine. She says she's doing well and would like one of our sandwiches. All of our sandwiches come with either chips, a quinoa salad, or a side salad, up to the person ordering. So I asked her which one she wanted. She smiled at me and asked what's a quinoa salad. I spent about 20 seconds explaining what it was, and she just kept looking at me and smiling. Then asked now what were the other choices again. I told her chips or side salad, and she started to ask now what's in the side sar. Oh duh, I love the chips here. I'll just get those. We both laughed as I ran the transaction, and I told her I hoped she would enjoy her meal and have a great rest of her day. She smiled again and was like, thank you. You too. And then as she walked away towards her table, she glanced back at me and grinned again.